practicing gratitude. I think we got a bit of, not think, we got some inspiration from the last live stream. And that was because I was allowed and led to do so. There is something to be said about a person that fights to complain when they have everything in the world to be thankful for. And I got to thinking about that. There was a vlog that I put up not too long ago, and if you're new here, yeah, then my name is Jessica. I teach people how to smell good all day long. Bonus says I love Jesus. We have these talks. We have vlogs. We talk about hygiene, hair, all that jazz. But right now we're having a Brave Girl chat. I felt the need to have this discussion because of the live stream from before. Because anytime I see people that just regularly complain, whether they leave a crazy comment or not, it just presents an opportunity for me to talk about gratitude, provided that I'm given permission to. So I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to keep you long. There are a whole lot more opportunities for you to be grateful for what you have. There are a whole lot more opportunities for you to be grateful. Because there's too much going on in the world for you to be complaining. And a lot of times when a person says you need to be thankful for what you have, a lot of times they're referring to the material things, but I'm not just referring to that. And I'll keep an eye on the comments as long as you're respectful. So I don't have to give out no trophies, okay? A lot of times it depends on what a person is going through, which is why I try not to take offense to when people leave crazy comments or complain, because I understand what it means. And when I say I understand, most people, okay, you can have your opinion. You have a right to have an opinion. You don't, however, when it comes to facts, no ma'am, no sir. Appreciate y'all dropping in. I'm just talking about practicing gratitude if you're a person that tends to complain. I showed myself in the previous vlog, went up not too long ago, just a few short days ago. And now I understand why God told me don't edit that stuff out. Little did I know, my first live stream tonight, somebody up here complaining. Like, no, last time I checked, adults don't order another adults around. Last time I checked, a person that complains is probably a miserable person to be around. Think about it. Think about it. They're probably a miserable person to be around. I just need you to do an experiment and then come back to this video in the comments and let me know what you observe. Like, really, really. I'm going to challenge you all to that. I want you to go from the moment you get off this live stream for 24 hours, and I want you to locate, unless they're in the house with you already, locate the person whom you know just they chronically complain. That's step one. Step two, I want you to sit and do more listening than you do talking, because here's what I want you to listen for. Step two, this is your challenge for today, starting right after you get off this live. Step two, I want you to do more listening than talking to this person as soon as you get around them. So whether it's, at night and bedtime and the live stream ends and they start, do more listening than talking. And then I want you to see I want you to sit and listen and count in your head or on a paper. Just write lines and then scratch them out how they taught you in school, if they taught you that. Listen to how many things they complain about. And if they say one sentence and they've complained about 7 things, you've got a complainer. That's all I want you to do. And then just come back to the comments of this video. Yeah. Bro, you could have been kinder to say that. I'm not offended, but I'm going to forgive you and I'm going to release you into the complete freedom of my forgiveness, bro. Yeah. It's called makeup. That's what it's called. It's called makeup. It's called blending. And it's called getting better with time. Some people have no filter. See, most people be offended. I'm like, no, it's just like, yeah. They usually say no offense after they done said the offense. Like, hey, it's out of my hands now. It's quite above me now. Anywho, we're gonna get back on topic. I just want you to do that experiment. I want you to go and sit and observe a person for 24 hours from the time this live stream ends and count how many negative things come out of their mouth and come back to the comments and put the number of complaints they've had. That's going to show you the type of people that you're around. My day's been excellent. I'm hoping that all of y'all's day has been excellent. It's been excellent. And then then I just want you to think about how many of those things that they complained about that probably were easily preventable, easily solvable, or solvable with time, that they could have spent better time. And I just want you to, and then step three is put in the comments 24, when you come back to here 24 hours after this live stream. Then here's your last step, step 4. I want you to reflect on how did they feel while they was complaining. Did it irritate you? Did it make you concerned? Did you walk into the room and you were fine, and then by the time they started opening their mouth, then they were aggravating you just from hearing them? That right there is a whole demonstration of what the Bible says. Now, I'm not a Bible thumper, but I am a Bible nerd. Okay? I love the person. God loves the person, but God doesn't love the act, the lifestyle. That's all I'll say about it. So that's what, back on topic, but what I just described to you is what the Bible says that is important about what you speak, about what comes out of your mouth as far as your words. Because your words aren't just words. So many people are spewing literal verbal poison at people, not even realizing that those words, as soon as they go out of your mouth, 1, you can't take them back. 2, the only way you can take them back is ask God for forgiveness and repent. Okay. 3, by the time you do that or realize that, the damage has been done. And depending on 3 and 4, depending on what you said, you may not have a chance to fix it. Afterwards, you could still ask God for forgiveness. You could still repent. But it might be that type of thing where you won't ever get a chance to go to them and say, I'm sorry. Or, I'm sorry for complaining while you were around me and making you miserable because I wasn't happy with such and such. So many people might hear me say that, life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. I'll show you an example. You can say you tired all day, and then you wonder why you tired all day, because you spoke it. As soon as you speak it out, it comes to pass. It does. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. You feel me? And so I just wanted to take this moment to just remind you to stop and count your blessings anytime that you feel like you want to complain. As a matter of fact, I'll link the vlog in which I literally was just like telling on myself and making a declaration. I'm like, you know what? I'm making a conscious effort that every time I complain, I stop and I find something to be thankful for. And I'll link it to the end of this live stream as soon as it allows me to. I might even put in a pinned comment so you can see it sooner. If you don't remember anything else, lock in, pause right when you get to complaining or right after you have started complaining. Like, oh, I don't like this and that. Stop it immediately and say, you know what? Hey, God, forgive me for complaining. And then immediately start looking around you. Even if you're not home, just start thinking back. What am I thankful for that I take for granted every day? Your life, the breath in your body, the fact that you had another day today. Every day is a gift. Every day. In fact, the moment that God showed that to me, that every day that you get is a gift, I made a conscious effort to stop complaining. Now, sometimes it'll still get me. Sometimes it'll still get me, but I stopped this time and I'm like, even if I start complaining, I know those people kind of feel off about it, especially the people that know me. They know I'm a person that, y'all see it. How I am on cam, I'm that way off cam too. Long as I'm, hey, they know I'm upbeat. They know that. So when they hear me start complaining, I can feel it because this whole thing is spiritual. You have to be careful what you're spewing out of your mouth as far as your words. All right, let me address some comments. Miss Monique Anderson, thank you so much for sharing. Right, baby, I got a whole, as soon as God allows me, we're going to talk about what type of damage gossip does. I'm fed up with gossip. I'm fed up. The way God had to purge me from that stuff, unfollowing pages, unsubscribing from everything. If they gossip, nah, you got to go. Gone. Delete it, unfollow, unsubscribe, mute, whatever. Stop replying. In my personal life, I remember, I have remembered some moments. You know what, a kill a conversation, a gossip in a minute. Mention praying for the person. Oh, it'll shut it down quickly, because then they'll be like, oh, but because that introduces a moral compass of the conversation that, you know what, I know what I'm doing is wrong. Let me stop that. I'm just doing that for what I thought was enjoyment. It literally does what's called, it convicts them, and conviction comes from God. That's perfectly fine for a person to have conviction, because the moment they stop having conviction, then they're in a dangerous area. That means God can't get to them. God can't make their life better if they can't convict them. UTH block. What? I'm not sure I understand your comment, Shawani. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, baby. Let me know how to pronounce. Did I say it correctly? Please let me know. But yeah, gossip in itself is a whole nother. Mention praying for the person, or mention, let's go over to their house and you want to tell them, you want to tell them that directly to their face, or tell it to them. Watch how quiet they get. Watch how quickly they retract their statement. And I want you to observe the look on their face. They're going to dial it back real quickly. Because that's not their intention. Their intention was just to be malicious, but behind it back. You feel me? Like that. Yeah. And I don't like that. I don't be liking that. Because it matters the intent. I forgot who I heard this from, but here's how you define this gossip. And I forgot who I heard it from, so the credit goes to whoever it is, even though I don't know their name. Add some quick background noise. Appreciate y'all. Here's what is defined as gossip. Now this ain't my thing, so I'm not taking credit at all. We don't do that here. How you can determine that something is gossip is if who are they complaining to? Who are they telling it to? Are they telling it to someone who can do nothing about it, who cannot resolve the issue, or are they telling it to someone who can do something about it? The moment I realized that, either before or after, I just started bringing everything to God, and I just started dialing back everything. If the moment you're getting ready to do that, it's like, is they gonna be able to resolve this issue? No. Don't do it. Don't open your mouth. Don't send that text. Don't hit that call button. Don't answer the phone. Don't answer the text. Don't do it. Right, right. They're like, oh, they speak so well of you, ma'am. Watch the disgust on the face. Look how repulsed they be looking. Repulsed. I think that's the word. Repulsed. I believe that's a state of shock. Don't quote me on that. Look it up. We're channel research. Like, encourage me to research as well as myself. So I'm a bit of a nerd in an area. But okay, I thank God for it. Yeah, practice gratitude. Watch who you tell it to. I'm not adding anything else to it, but I want you to practice being mindful of what you say. And if you know that the person that you're getting ready to tell it to, or that you feeling, there's a certain urge that comes with gossip. If you feel like they can do nothing about it, but you just have to tell them, but then you also know in the back of your mind, if I don't tell them, will I be all right? And you know you'll be all right. You just still feel that urge. Don't do it, baby. Don't do it. Don't do it. Slim Jim, I forgive you. And I release you into the complete freedom of forgiveness. I think I think this goes without saying, we're going to have to do some videos when God allows me to address how we need to be conversing with people. Because some stuff, you got to have tact telling people. I'm not saying coddling people. I can't tell. See, when you type in text like this, text words do not have context. I'm not offended. I'm like, but who would say that though on a live stream and you don't know me and I don't know you? That's insanely inappropriate. I'm not offended at all. It's just, I realize you're new here and I realize we don't know each other. And so you're probably used to just saying that type stuff to people, and maybe they do get offended. And you're not used to someone responding the way that I do. Because I'm like, second comment by a different person. What's going on here? Because as many times that I've come on here with two different shades, and I'd be wearing makeup on here, the times I do be wearing makeup, it's like, now people ain't saying that every single time. You don't think I don't be noticing that? Which is why I've been practicing on my makeup, and I'm a person, I'm always in progress. All I'm saying, there's a better way to say it. That's all. You're forgiven though. It's okay. No, there's no backpedaling at all. Absolutely not. Canceled. No backpedaling at all. Definitely not offended. See, here's the thing, and this goes within the video, because we're not going to do double-mindedness. It is possible to not be offended, but also address what a person has said to you that may come off offensive to others. It's possible. I've had people call me all kind of names I wouldn't dare repeat. I almost said what the person called me. And because I realized they don't know me and I don't know them, and they could be a person off in a corner feeling miserable about their lives. And I'm like, why would I get offended at that? They probably are living a miserable life because they don't practice gratitude. Because they do a lot of complaining, most of what we've been talking about today. So we're not going to do that. So going forward, any more comments about anything going on here, just I may address it. Sometimes I just go ahead and give out block trophies and I go on about my business. Tonight, for some reason, God have me to address people, just like in the last live stream. I'm cool. So you have your perception, I have my perception of it. Been a whole lot of interesting comments. I realize that a lot of times a person will continue to say different comments and say different things to you, and then if they see that you don't respond, they think it's okay. I am not allowed to call names, but there was a situation with a particular group of people, this was years ago, and they used to always make this certain comment about a certain area of my life. And so I just kept observing. I'm like, why do they keep doing that? They keep slanging insults and then like it's a joke. And so, see, this is the thing. See, this has turned to another subject about emotional intelligence. That's gonna be a video on its own. Soon as I'm allowed to drop that one, whenever that is. And I noticed that whenever I would talk about, whenever I would react positively in one area of my life, they would comment on, then they would take and portray that to other people to make me look a certain way that I'm not am. Then whenever I started reacting negatively to it, like, you know what, that's not cool, I don't appreciate that, then they start acting like, oh, well, it's no big deal. Yeah, it was just a joke. No, baby, that wasn't no joke. Not in that situation. It's okay because it's zero. I know people not used to hearing the truth about stuff, and they're not used to people addressing what they've said. It's okay. It's okay. I can tell me that you're not listening to the live stream without telling me that you're not listening to the live stream. Tell me that you're not comprehending what I said without telling me you're not comprehending what I said. Tell me that you're not stopping and saying, you know what, let me ask what she said since I'm misunderstanding something, instead of getting offended. It's interesting how that works. I'm not going to be grouped in with any duration of people, so I cancel that. It's done. Rebuked. All right. You're forgiven and you're released into the complete freedom of my forgiveness. See, you see what happens when you get distracted? All from a comment about my appearance. Look, long story short is whenever a person is commenting on you, about you, or appearance, I'm used to this. I've been on here for a number of years. And I'm just thankful for what I have. I'm thankful for how far I've come. You are okay to leave a comment. My only requirement is to be respectful. If you send back a rebuttal, oh, well, such and such, and you were actually acting this way, there we go. We got a trophy awarded. There we go. Rebuked, canceled, done. Here's what I'm going to say. This is a free platform. You can leave your comment. That's absolutely fine. I realize that by our short interaction that I'm dealing with a person that's easily offended. Just that exchange. You commented about my appearance. We're going to just We're going to just sum it up because I'm not going to give it any more time. Comment on appearance. I say that's insanely inappropriate, but I'm not offended. You are there saying the exact opposite that I am. Then you're commenting more stuff that is actually very passive aggressive, and I don't do passive aggressively. And then you continue to make comments after I told you I forgave you. You see how that works? I don't let it go, but you keep complaining. Oh, I've encountered people like that. I think we just had an example of what we're literally talking about in this video about practicing gratitude. I think we just encountered a person that complained. It's okay. I understand that the makeup going on here isn't how I want it to be. That's why it's called practicing. I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of doing research. I'm a big fan of improving yourself so you can be the best version of yourself. That's why I said I'm not offended. I've already explained and expressed to myself, and I'm not editing this out. I'm being led not to edit this out. Appreciate your bald bandit. I'm gonna get to you soon. This is finishing the dressing, so I'm handling my business here. The fact that you continue making comments because we disagree, and then you start to make personalized insults. It's like, I don't do passive aggressiveness. It is at this moment that I'm going to practice emotional intelligence and just cut the conversation completely. I'm washing my hands of it. You have a trophy now. It is what it is. Because I've encountered people like that before. They will continue to make comments, and I was in the middle of testifying about situations where I dealt with one person that used to also do the same thing. They would make comments about me, and they would make comments and insults, and everybody else would try to defend me, and then they would argue at them, and then they would leave it alone. But the moment I decided to stand up for myself, then they started getting agitated because they're like, oh, well, Jessica usually just lets me say whatever I want and talk to her crazy. But the moment I start standing up for myself, then it's an issue. And so y'all just saw that transpire here. I'm really not offended. It is no hard feelings. What was the name? Slim Jim. It's okay. Slim Jim is the name of a snack. Those used to be my favorite. Till I found out pork was in it and how unhealthy they are. Not just because of the pork. Anywho, I'm truly not offended. And I do wish you well, Slim Jim. And my sincere hope and prayer for you is that you become more well-versed in the area of emotional intelligence. And you're seeing the look on my face because I want you to know that I'm serious. I'm telling you this because I love you, and I don't want to see this exchange happen like it did with us. I don't want this to happen between you or anyone else, because people can pick up on that stuff. Easily getting offended, people can pick up on that stuff. And so I tell you this with the love of Christ, that my hope and sincere prayers, again, I want you to have an account from, even if you never come on here ever again, and that's absolutely fine with me. I want you to, my sincere hope and prayers, that you have an encounter with God, that you have an encounter with a person from this moment on that exposes you to emotional intelligence, that can show you that you probably should have handled this differently. And I say that with all seriousness. I hope your day goes well. I hope your life goes well. But I sincerely hope that you come into the knowledge of emotional intelligence and God's love very soon. Like immediate, quick. That's what I have for you. So no matter what the comment is, the bottom line is you are in need of some knowledge about emotional intelligence. Just by that whole interaction, you just taught me that you're not yet there at that level, and that's okay. But that also doesn't mean I have to continue going back and forth. Those are two directions I don't continue to go with people. I'm at an age where I don't do back and forth unless God gives me permission to address stuff. And he got me addressing stuff tonight. I don't know why. Maybe somebody needs to see this. And see, here's the thing about having a relationship with Jesus is that you may be the only Bible that some people get a chance to be around. Do you know what that means? They may never ever crack a Bible open, except to see how you live your life. So if they see how, can you imagine? So imagine seeing how I handled this interaction. And what if I would have handled it very badly and cussed him clean out, like the old me? Can you imagine? I'd have messed up my witness. Maybe they just had a conversation with God, like, God, if you're real, help me see it. And then bam, God allowed me to come up in their shorts feed, and I'm cussing somebody out. That'll ruin my witness for God. Can you imagine how crazy that is? That's why I can laugh at it. That's crazy. But because I handled this by the grace of God, handled that very differently, absolutely no cussing. Old me would be proud. Old me would be proud. Old cussing me would be proud. Like, look, sis, you did it. You ain't use no F, no S bomb. You ain't do that. Oh, I'm proud of you. Old me would be proud of me. Old me would be proud of me. I'm being allowed to share one more testimony. Now this one is funny. Grab some popcorn. Let me address some comments before I tell it. It's real funny. I still got a copy of the conversation saved somewhere. And no, I cannot read it to y'all. It's got too much cussing in it. Okay, let me address these comments right here. Okay. Appreciate you, Bald Bandit. Whenever I'm reading out names, I'm reading your username. Okay, you can change your username. Head to your YouTube page and hit the little edit pencil, and you can change your name. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how often YouTube allow you to change it, but yeah. Bald Bandit, I'm gonna need you to chill. It's okay for people to make comments towards me. It's okay. Thank you, Trail Buddies, HH. No fighting in the comments. Look now, this coming from a person that's a former cusser. Don't do it. I don't want to give out no more trophies now. I'm in the United States. Appreciate you, Monique. Appreciate you rocking with me. I promise I won't keep you long. I'm gonna tell you this one very, very funny testimony that keeps me grounded and keeps things in perspective. Country girl, is it Bailin or Bailin? Like Bailey? You done change your look, sir. I realize you don't know me and I don't know you. I'm gonna need you to dial that back now. Okay, appreciate the comments. Okay. Let me tell this quick testimony. I'm not gonna hold you long. 'Cause I realize some kiddos is in here, and I don't need you staying up late, baby. You got to go to school. Okay. I am not from Tennessee, but I'm gonna tell you this. I love the accents from people in the country, the southern states, Tennessee, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. I know you just heard that like, ooh, yeah, I'm a Southern belle. I know how to cook like them too. That's why I don't like telling it too much. I'm a hush. As promised, I'm going to tell this testimony. This is the reason why I handle conversations and hate comments and nasty remarks. This is the reason why I handle it like y'all just showed me. Like y'all, like I just showed y'all. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. That's the reason why I handle stuff the way that I do here on YouTube, on lives, on videos, getting hate comments. That's why. This testimony is why. So, this was, it's been well over 10 years ago. Probably about 12 or 13. I don't get my phone number on no public platform. I don't do that. I have to talk to God and no. You say you 18. No, you'll find yourself a nice young lady. You'll find yourself a nice young lady. I can't do that. I'm somebody auntie. No, baby, I'm sorry. I have to burst your bubble. I'm sorry. You'll find yourself a nice young lady, much like myself, but she'll have her own pizzazz. She'll have her own personality. Okay? So, no, we can't do that. Nope, we don't do that. Okay, let me tell a testimony real quick. I will not be before you long because I realize some of y'all probably past your bedtime and you're pushing it. Okay, so the reason why I handle conversations and hate comments and people getting offended towards me, like what you guys just saw transpire tonight, is because of this one incident. So this is it's actually been about 15 years ago. 15 years ago. That almost hurt saying that. I'm not ashamed of my age. I'm just 15 years ago. Dang. All right. So this was during a time when the internet was just like, just getting popular. Folks was, learning how to make money online, all the other stuff, and getting on, getting people's like knee deep into leaving like comments and getting into forum discussion, stuff like that. So I used to run a blog. I won't say what it's about, but I used to run a blog, and I would go through and post it here and post it there of the brand new posts. Long story short, a troll comes along. You see how this stuff is kind of lining up? Sound familiar? A troll came along. A unsuspecting commenter came. Talking about, oh, well, I don't believe in what you posting and such and such and such. And see, I want you to listen and understand the part of the testimony here. And so, because I was running this blog, and I was making a little bit, maybe enough to get a coffee or so, I think they had the dollar menu back then. This is that long ago, okay. And so I sat there and I got with a family member who won't be named, and I said, well, look, how do I comment on this? I went all in and cussed them clean out and and I insisted on being creative with the names I called them. These names I called them, I cannot repeat here because they will flag this live stream. I'm not even proud to say the names. Do you hear me? And I typed it in all caps, including the cuss words. I may have put, you ever seen asterisks? They look like stars, asterisk, in place of blocking out the cuss words. But some of the stuff, I didn't bother. I just typed the cuss word all the way out. There were elongated paragraphs of cuss words. By the time I was done, I had been laughing, but the person, I could tell in their replies, they eventually stopped replying. I got scared. You want to know why? I went back to that site. It might have been weeks or months later. The site didn't exist no more. You know what I thought? No one ever notified me, but I thought it was me. Something in me saved them conversations. And every once in a while, whenever I feel like I'm coming across a person that just want to try to irritate me to the point that I want to go back to all the way cussing folks clean out like that, where I took and used the gifts God gave me to call them creative cuss words. I look back at that conversation. That's the only reason why I still got it. Sometimes I go and look back at that conversation. I may laugh, but then I stop laughing once I realize what's there, and once I realize what mindset I was in, and I compare it to the mindset that I'm in now, and realizing how much I've grown for that to be 15 years ago, and the old me would be very proud of the me now. Because baby, when I got proof of me cussing for your feelings would be hurt if God had not changed my heart towards how I handle people that try to talk to me crazy. God would not be proud of me had I handled this how I handled that 15 years ago. I still got the conversation. I might go look at it just for fun to be like, and reflect like, this was me over 15 years ago, cussing people clean out. If I could talk to old Jessica from 15 or more years ago and say, sis, you didn't have to do that. You're going to be testifying about this in 2025. You're going to look back on this and laugh. It doesn't stop here. You're not even going to be running the blog and within the next couple of months. Can you imagine? I still have that to reflect on. I say all that to say this. The fact that I still got that conversation and I cannot read it to you all because they will shut the live down. I'm just thinking about it and I'm like, every time I went back to look on it since God delivered me from that, other than laughing, I think about, oh, wow, I've come so far. I'm glad I have evidence of it. I'm glad I have evidence of it. I'm glad that I'm glad that the first thing that don't come to my mind is cussing the person clean out whenever they say something like that. Because old me would have got seriously offended at that comment that Slim Jim would have made. Baby, I'd probably saw a whole bunch of laughing emojis, but y'all have probably been ashamed of me. God have been ashamed of me, and then I'd have been ashamed of me right after. It would have done nobody no good at all, including myself. It wouldn't. I'm thinking about that conversation now. I'm like, man, I think it might have been 2009 or so. Well, I say 15 years, but then as I'm talking, God had kind of reminded me about where it was. Yep, I ignore, I delete. And if you ever hear me say trophies, I don't want to give you out no trophy, block trophies. I give out what I call block trophies. I didn't want to have to give out one tonight. I really didn't, but I had to. I leave you with this, with that testimony. We start off with practicing gratitude, but I also want you to be mindful of what you say, because what you say is what you're declaring over your life according to the word of God. That says life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. I also want you to be mindful of what you say, because if you just join, I just told the testimony about how I used to be a cuss over 15 years ago, and I got proof of several interactions of when I used to run a blog. So I know what it's like. I done the comments I comment, oh, you'd have cried somewhere in the corner. I'm not proud to say that. Look at my face. I'm glad that's in the past. Okay? The Bible speaks about leaving the former things behind. Look, This is about turning into a Bible study. I want to leave you with this. Practice gratitude. Watch what you say, because what you say you're pronouncing over your life, and it will come to pass. If you don't believe me, keep a notebook. 9 a.m. I said I'm tired. 10 a.m. I realize I'm tired. Keep track of that. That's the word of God in motion. Then we just addressed about comments being made about me and how I'm not offended, and the person tried, passive aggressiveness took place on their part, and I'm steady telling you I'm not offended. I was just given permission to address you, and I normally don't, because I myself, I just don't like, I dislike passive aggressiveness. Let's just have a conversation head on. I've been in a situation like that where I didn't know a person had a problem with me. Not that I don't think people don't have problems, but it's like, okay, I realize I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm normally, I pronounce my words a certain way. It's good morning or good morning. I don't know what it is. I'm fully myself. I'm fully comfortable. And I have God to thank for everything. And then I just shared a testimony about how over 15 years ago, I used to cuss. I got evidence of it. And no, the answer is no, I cannot read it on live. It will shut this live down. We're not doing that. But now that God done brought it back to my memory, I might go back and review it. Not to laugh at, but just to be like, you know what, this is how far I've come. That in itself, I'm trying not to make myself cry. That would be tears of joy. I just want God to be proud of me. That's all. That's all. Because I've had situations in which people have talked crazy to me, and exactly 7 days later, the same person is saying, "Oh, well, can you help me with such and such? I thought you said that I was this, that, and the third, and everything in the book except for God's daughter," calling me all kind of names. That has happened. That type of stuff has happened. And so none of that makes me happy, because all you had to do is just not do it. You feel me? That's all. That's all, baby. But sometimes it takes that. So that's why I wash my hands of it. I forgive people, because I don't want God having problems with me, or child. I don't want that. I want God to be proud of me. So I forgive people quickly. I forgive people, and I forgive them. TD Stella, we're not doing the comments on the age. Baby, I am a very fine 30s. I'm in my 30s. I'm a very fine 30-something. And I say that, and I boast in God when I say that. I'm not boasting in myself. I don't want to have to give out another block trophy, okay? That's a very polite reminder. I forgive you, and I release you into the complete freedom of my forgiveness. Don't do it no more. I'm asking nicely. Anywho, run it back if you missed anything. The only thing keeping me from reading that conversation that I saved back in them days is the fact that it got cuss words and all kind of creative names in it. Other than that, I would read it to you. But we're not going to do that. Just reflecting on it makes me very thankful that I am not that woman anymore. The woman I am today, I want God to be proud of me. That's all. So don't forget your challenge. Y'all got homework. If you want to, you got homework. I want you to sit and observe from 24 hours from when this live stream ends, of a person either outside your house or inside your house that complains. And I don't want you to do too much talking. I want you to do more listening. And I want you to sit and count how many times these people complain. And then come back to the comments and put the number of times they complain. And then after that, I want you to reflect on how did them being around them complaining make you feel? The expressions on their face, did they seem aggravated? That's all. I don't do young bucks. I'm in my 30s, baby. I got nieces and nephews. I'm sorry, but I decline. I'm very sure that you'll meet a young lady that will right around your age. It'll be perfect for you. I love each and every one of you. Run it back if you need to hear this. Love y'all. Peace.